So, you think you're untouchable?
What?
Está me achando com cara de babaca? Por favor. Eu te fiz uma pergunta, porra. A gente vai tirando aquilo. Eu te prometo, cara. Tua última chance. Me dá um nome. Eu só sei que teve um apagão. Isso é tudo que eu sei. Isso tá criminoso. É isso que você quer? Nós vamos morrer. De qualquer maneira. Tá certo. Vamos eliminar o alvo, cara. Tá vendo a situação? Ajuda, porra!
I don't believe this. It's Mr. Have a Nice Day guy.
The last few prisoners were trapped in here, and more pressingly, it seemed I was too. The security switch had to be in that booth. Either there was a switch to those doors somewhere, or I was in a whole heap of shit. It was Monday's arrest log, as far as I could tell, and no sign of anybody from Nova Esperanza. All those poor bastards had been checked straight into the Imperial Palace Hotel. That kid had the right idea. There was no point bouncing bullets off that thing. I decided I'd try to pick up where he left off. And then immediately crying shame to let that RPG go to waste.
Me dê cobertura! Agora! Traga esse traseiro aqui, eu te dou cobertura! Vamos! Nós vamos! Tudo bem, rapaziada? Continue atirando! Continue atirando! Vira homem, vai! Vira homem! Vira homem! Sem vacilar! Em suas posições, seu filho da puta! Ah, droga!
Well, wasn't this nice? The perfect end to a perfect trip. If someone had told me 6 months ago this was where my life was headed, I'd have ordered a double of whatever they were drinking, drunk it, then blown my head off.
Que porra você tá tentando fazer? Quebra esse pé!
Another dark, rainy night. Another police station. Another futile crusade for amends. Time moves forward, and nothing changes.
Ninguém se mete com a UF! Segue! Está pronto pra enfrentar o Bambambam de São Paulo, cara? Cara, meu braço! Gringo americano! Ninguém se mete! Meu braço, caralho! Vamos fuder com vocês! Foda-se! Foda-se! Fazendo, caralho!
Every bastard in the joint must have known I was on the loose by now. I couldn't afford to waste any more time. Luckily, I wasn't the only cop with a pill problem.
Abrir fogo! Tira, filho da puta! Ei, eu preciso de cobertura! Vai agora, você tá esse filho da puta! Te vejo no inferno!
Police food, the same crap the world over. But I could reminisce about the old days later. For now, there was more pressing matters to deal with.
Mirem para cá! Proteção do fogo!
Bora, bora que eu te cubro, bora! Puta que pariu! Onde você pensa que você vai?
Vai, justo!
They'd come from the control room. It looked like the security cameras were still running. It looked like the prisoners were giving them a run for their money. That's what happens when you hand some roided-up halfwit a commando uniform with special on the front and let him ride around his hometown in a tank playing soldiers. Sooner or later, someone's gonna decide he's not so special. There were a bunch more in the elevator, tooled up like they were about to roll into Fallujah. And of course, they were headed my way.
Vamos te matar!
If the heat was rising, that meant I was getting closer to the source. I had to keep moving. If there was one thing I learned since being in Sao Paulo, it was that me and the local elevators were not a good mix. Whatever depressing fate lay on the other side of those doors, there was no point in putting it off any longer.
Agora, me dê cobertura! Que merda, cara! Foi por um triz! Dê cobertura aqui em minha posição! Vai, acabe! Eu fui atingido! Ai! Vamos acabar com... Eu vou sair fora daqui, hein? Traga esse traseiro aqui, eu te dou cobertura! Soma! Ele me pegou! Ele me pegou! Ele me pegou!
Ai, desgraçado! Ah! Vai se fuder!
I'd killed more cops than cholesterol, and still no sign of Becker. It wasn't the first time it dawned on me I should probably have gone over the plan in more detail, but it was too late for that now. If I didn't hurry, Becker would be long gone. They had their body armor. I had mine. Sao Paulo's own David and Goliath. I'd pinned De Silva as a coward, but he'd risked more than anyone, and he'd never taken a bribe. I still didn't know how I'd gone from drinking myself numb in New Jersey to looting corpses in Brazil. But this was where I was, 5,000 miles from a home I couldn't go back to, on another suicide mission to clean up a mess that wasn't even mine. I'd spent my career dozing off in the briefing room. Now wasn't the time.
Você tá cego, porra! Preciso de cobertura! Vai! Vai! Vamos matar esse cara! Pegada, porra! Foda-se essa da merda! Puta! Você não é porra! Eu vou ficar aqui! Vamos! Vamos dar... Inferno!
It was starting to feel as if I'd never leave that place. Like one of those nightmares where you keep running and running, only to discover you're chasing yourself. Tear gas. This wasn't good. I needed to find a way out of that stairwell, and fast. This was a waste of time. The bastards had me locked in. The doors were all locked. There had to be something else I wasn't seeing. If I didn't do something soon, I was going to be crying myself to a very long sleep. This was a waste of time. My eyes and throat burned, but at least I could breathe. I was trying to work out what direction I was headed in when I discovered some more Brazilian architecture not designed for the American physique. There it was, the tape from the Bronco security system. Jesus, it was that guy. I had seen him in the favela, Bachmeyer, Becker's right-hand man. His time would come, him and Becker. I'd seen enough. It was time to bring this nightmare to an end. Couldn't get that tape out of my head. Why had Ufe killed Rodrigo? I wasn't going to find any answers in the forensics lab. I had to push on.
Hey, pal. Nice to see you.
Vai pra casa, gringo de merda.
I don't think we've been properly introduced.
I know who you are.
Then you should have killed me in the office when you had the chance.
There's still time, meu camarada.
Você tá fudido! Vamos nos deslocar!
Sigam adiante!
Porra, atrás dele, caralho! Você não tem chance nenhuma! Me pegou! Você foi atingido! Tô de saco! Isso aqui, meu! Peraí! Pilota que nem você é um prazer! Você nem sabe quem são os UF, caralho! A gente comanda essa cidade, porra!
Another pile of bodies and still nothing to show for it. It felt like I was detaching, that maybe this was revenge for something else, something buried deep in the past. More goddamn security doors. Figured I'd bag those up for evidence. Rodrigo, Giovanna, Passos, everyone who'd meant anything was gone. Like so many times before, I'd found myself alone, locked on a course of destruction. It was at my worst when I was at my best.
Acabou, Playboy! Você é um bosta!
Atingido! Tô na proteção! Procure guarida! Onde vocês estavam, caralho? Cessar fogo! Atingido! Me ajudem! Oh, quase me atingiu! Ai! Droga! Tente outra vez! Preciso de guarida aqui! Você não passa de um cadáver pra mim!
Você tem ideia de quantas vezes eu já levei tiro, cara? Atira agora!
Becker and Bachmeyer had taken their pound of flesh and sold it on the black market. Now I was coming for mine.
Puta que pariu! Você tá vivo, velho! Pega ele! Vai, avança! Vamos! Pode pegar ele, porra! Frescura! Vamos acabar com essa merda agora! Vamos indo!
Se estiver na
Beleza,
mesa,
rapaziada, bom trabalho. Só tô esperando a confirmação do outro grupo, mas o gringo já deve estar morto agora.
Senhor! Ele não parece estar morto!
Filho da puta, pelo amor de Deus!
Caralho!